If you're seeing a Tinkercad grouping objects error, don't worry. This is one of the most common glitches, and in most cases, it can be fixed really quickly. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact steps to troubleshoot it, whether the issue is caused by touching surfaces, too many nested groups, a project that's too far from the center, or even a browser session that just needs a refresh. If this tutorial helps, please hit the like button and subscribe for more quick Tinkercad fixes and design tips. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the most common cause, which is perfectly aligned or touching shapes. When two objects are sitting exactly flush against each other, Tinkercad's math engine can get stuck trying to calculate the merge or cut. To fix that, select one of the objects and nudge it slightly. You only need a tiny movement, like 0.01 millimeters or 0.1 millimeters. That tiny overlap or gap gives the software a clear result to work with, and in many cases, the group command will work right away after that. If your shapes are supposed to connect, this tiny adjustment is often the fastest fix. Next, if you're working with groups inside groups, that can create a more complex calculation than Tinkercad wants to handle. The more nested the structure, the more likely you are to run into a timeout or grouping error. In that case, ungroup everything first. You can use Ctrl-Shift-G to break the model back down into individual parts and then regroup the pieces again in a simpler way. If your design is especially complex, try flattening it. Select the Finished Complex section, then go to your Shapes panel under Your Creations and click Create Shape. That turns the group into one simple custom object, which makes future grouping much easier and much faster. Another thing that helps a lot is moving your model closer to the center of the work plane. Tinkercad is usually more stable near the origin or the center of the grid at 0, 0. If your objects are pushed far out toward the edges, precision can drop and grouping errors become more likely. To fix this, select All with Ctrl-A and drag the whole project back toward the center of the blue grid. Once everything is centered, try grouping again and see if the error clears. If your model has a lot of parts, don't try to group everything at once. That's a very common reason for geometry issues or timeout errors. Instead, group in smaller batches. Start with 5 to 10 objects at a time and wait for the red processing bar to fully finish before adding the next batch. This gives Tinkercad time to calculate each step properly, and it usually prevents the system from freezing or failing during a large group operation. When you build up the model gradually, the software has a much easier time handling it. If the problem still won't go away, the issue may not even be the shapes themselves. Sometimes Tinkercad gets stuck in a bad browser session, and the grouping error keeps appearing even when the geometry looks fine. A simple fix is to duplicate the project. Go back to your dashboard, click the gear icon on the project, and choose Duplicate. This creates a fresh copy of the design on Tinkercad servers, which often clears out any stuck grouping calculations. It's a great trick when nothing else seems to work. Also check whether one of your special shape generators is causing the issue. Shapes like threaded bolts, text, or feature generators can rely on background scripts, and if one of those scripts fails, grouping can fail too. A good test is to delete the last special shape you added and then try grouping again. If the error disappears, you've probably found the culprit. You can then replace it with a fresh version of that same shape or rebuild that part of the model from scratch. So, to quickly recap, if Tinkercad gives you a grouping objects error, try nudging touching shapes, simplify nested groups, move the model to the center of the grid, group in smaller batches, duplicate the project to clear the session cache, and check for broken shape generators. In most cases, one of these fixes will solve the problem right away. If this video saved you time, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more Tinkercad troubleshooting tutorials, beginner guides, and design workflows. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.